1, 2, 3. I know beats like ABC. I come up, they hate to see. I may believe till they believe. I came up to major leagues. Say you blind, but wait and see. It's so easy.
All right,
1,
what's
2,
going on,
3.
guys? Welcome back to another trade breakdown. So I'm going to break down this trade on SPY today. I had my eye on it last night. It was only one of two things that I was willing to trade. I didn't really see much last night that I wanted to trade for my style and my setups. But this trade is super simple, and you can find it almost every single day in the stock market. And it's better to have higher quality trades and then constantly in and out and finding little things, because those trades I found out, over trial and error and years of experience, is it will burn up and eat your account. So I've been trading a little bit less and just waiting for perfect setups, simple setups. They're actually very obvious and easy to find, and I'm going to show you just how I broke down today's trade on SPY. Made about $200 on just a couple put options. I could have made a lot more actually, but E-Trade messed up on me. I hate to say it, but I used to be a big fan of E-Trade, and now they're terrible. I'm on Thinkorswim, but I trade at work sometimes, and I'm not going to download software to my work computer, so I have to use web version on E-Trade. But yeah, it cost me a bunch of money today because the E-Trade's program screwed up. But like I said, I'm going to break this trade down for you, and we'll jump on over to SPY. What I've been doing is I go out on the weekly time frames. You can see here. It doesn't matter really to how far you go out. I've got mine set for 3 years, just to get a bigger picture. But you need all your time frames to line up together, right? So whether you like scalping or swing trading or whatever it is, you need everything to go in your direction. So you need to be, if you're bearish on a stock, you need to be long-term bearish, medium-term bearish, and you need to be short-term bearish, and then intraday bearish, or vice versa, bullish. I don't usually go as far into detail in my trades, just because I usually kind of keep them short and sweet. But I'm going to go a little more into detail on this one. SPY 3-year, 1 week chart. So each candle is a week. So what I do is I come in here and I put in my main and heavy support and resistance, because a longer time frame is going to carry much more value and weight than short term. So support resistance means a lot more on a weekly chart than it does on a daily or hourly, etc. So I go in here on the hourly or the weekly chart, and I put in my main levels of support and resistance. Okay, so I've got my high here. Every high I hit, I've got a resistance. You're probably wondering, well, why didn't I put support in here? I didn't put support in because I was bearish and I was looking for a certain type of trade, a bounce off resistance, and not really coming off of support. But I did put my low down here as well. We're bearish on this because if you see if you draw a trend line, it's going from the left side of my screen, the left top to the right bottom. That's a downtrend. We've got lower highs, lower lows. That's the exact definition of a downtrend. So we're bearish. That's step number one. Long-term bearish on the weekly chart. Now we go down to the daily. You can see that all these weekly main heavy resistance zones show up on my daily chart, so that they don't just disappear. So they're all there for you. My trend line, you can look here. On the daily, we hit that trend line. We stayed below the 200 moving average, and we're bearish. So we're bearish on the weekly, bearish on the daily, and got this big engulfing pattern. This is actually the second day I've ran puts on SPY. A little bit more aggressive trade yesterday because I didn't have confirmation. But then we had confirmation yesterday, this big, giant, engulfing bearish candle here. So we're bearish on the weekly, bearish on the daily. Now we'll jump over. I use different time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, just depends. I'm going to use the 4 hour chart. Here's that same trend line that you've seen before. Here's that bounce. So we're kind of digging into that engulfing candle, and now you're getting the smaller candles, seeing what actually happened to create that bullish or that bearish engulfing candle. As you can see here, we were long-term bearish, had that hit, that bounce and rejection off of that trend line. Okay, MACD headed down, RSI divergence. That's a video for another time. I can get into that if you guys like. But if we've got that bounce, and then if you draw a trend line, this is your short-term trend where you are long-term bearish, but this is short-term bullish right here. We got that bounce off this trend line. We got a crossover on the 9 and 20. Everything headed down, confirming volume, everything pointed down. And then we broke this short-term bullish trend line, and that is where we look to enter. Okay, but you don't want to. You can enter on the 4 hour if you're going to swing. But I was looking for a day trade, so then we came down to our 1 day 5 minute chart. Okay. And let me zoom in here. This was my trade today. So I actually had a zone drawn in right here. And then you have the 200 moving average. And I was looking for a run up at the open. Dow Jones was down, but I was looking for a rejection at this resistance area right here. And then I got in on this giant bearish engulfing candle. It was a little bit aggressive. What I should have waited for. If your eye can't pick it up, you've got a couple things going on here. All right, you've got a couple of things going on. So right through here, before all this happened, you could have waited. Kind of stayed in this triangle. You could have waited for a break down below that triangle and made a pretty good day trade right here. You even caught this bounce back. So this would be a little bit more aggressive also, but you can wait and see if it retests that support that it broke from that triangle and now resistance. You could have got in here. And then once it broke that trend line and became short-term bullish again, that's when you would exit. But I actually got in on this big bullish engulfing candle, and then E-Trade kind of screwed up on me and took me out of the trade. And I ended up having to get back in down here somewhere and wrote it down in this area. Could have held a little bit longer, got a little more, but I was happy. I think I got like 24% return on it. So 20% or more. I'm happy with that and taking profits just in case it bounced. Which you can see here, it pretty much did bounce for the rest of the day. But that's a simple, easy trade breakdown on SPY. Hopefully it helps you guys. Hopefully you come back and check out my YouTube videos. I'll try to make some better, longer videos and make the videos more often. So it would really help if you guys like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel to 1,000 subs this year. So that would really help me out. Thanks for coming back. Peace.